It is the Speak Easy podcast where we talk about the behind the scenes of what it takes to be the successfully paid speaker and author. You know, so many times we get into this mindset of what people tell us that we need, and we think we need the logo, we think we need the website, there's some other things that really come into play. And I love bringing this to you as your host. I am Altavis Pelzer, the voice coach, professional speaker, certified life coach, Amazon best-selling author, and guess what? Founder of the World Voice League, guys. Super excited about bringing this particular episode to you. I was able to make a connection with an awesome person who is from Australia, but currently right now in the UK. So the timing is always interesting when you're doing stuff internationally. But I was appreciative that he was able to join me today because I really wanted to have this discussion with you. You know, what do I need to have that 20 years of transforming minds, bodies, lives? What do I need to have that longevity? What does that really look like? What does that journey feel like as well? And we were able to talk a little bit beforehand about, you know, some of the ups and downs, you know, some of the things you may go through, but I know that this episode is definitely going to be a great one for you. So I want to say, hey, Darren.
Hey, Elsa V's. I just want to get it right. V's. We only just met lately, to be honest, guys, and I'm trying to get that name down pat. Elsa V's? Did I get that right, or V's?
You got it right, Elsa V's.
Elsa V's. So, guys, what I love, so hi, everyone out there. I'm Darren King. We're going into King of Spiritual Fitness. As the branding is changing as we speak, which we'll talk about in a little while with Elsa V's. And I'm really Altavize as in connect. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. I appreciate it. And you know, guys,
bit of a delay.
When we think about success, oh my goodness, there's so many different avenues and different aspects to it. But Darren, tell them a little bit about your success. 20 years, like 20 years is nothing to sneeze at. There's not a lot of people that make it past 2 years, let alone 20. So what did that really look like for you?
Yeah, well, we spoke before about the roller coaster. There's no smooth sailing as we go along. There's always speed humps. There's always a roller coaster. And the more successful you become, the more humps you're going to go along. And, you know, start off with, we can go through my story in a little while, but after I went through a lot of hurdles physically, I just got in the health and fitness game and become a personal trainer, transitioning, as I said before, from the physical side to the more well-being side. But that 20 years, huge bumps. And you know what? Most personal trainers, because that's where I started off with, give up. Like most people give up, you know, whether it's New Year's resolutions, whether it's going for a certain goal. Most people give them goals. And that's the thing about, I see it, you know, you've got these days, I don't know what it's like over there in the US, but we've got personal trainers pumping right through the system, and most of them don't last. People struggle with relationships these days, and most of them don't last, or there's a lot of divorces. And we spoke about commitment before, you know, it's worth staying committed in whatever you do, whether it's a relationship, whatever, and riding the waves. Obviously, there's going to be some where obviously you've got to come out of it. The majority of times, we give up too easy. And you see with New Year's resolutions, like, you know, 8% of people, it's only 8% of people still going, they say, after 2 weeks of New Year's resolutions. And most people don't even bother setting them anymore because they have the disbelief that they're going to actually follow through. So the 20 years, yes, it's been massive hurdles. I've had times when I was going to run away and escape and move to another country or city or whatever. But I'm so glad I've been able to stay on my journey, even through the times when you feel like giving up. And personal training is a perfect example because most times you're going to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning, you have a patch in the afternoon with a siesta, and then you're going to come back in the evening. So take that action. And I find people just give up too easy. And most people don't have any goals and something to play for in this life, and they're just going through the, you know, survival mechanism. You know, I see people like, I'm on the subway here, you know, whether it's New York or part of America, whether it's here in London, whether it's even in the main cities, Melbourne, Sydney, and Australia, I see a lot of people it's so full on, going hard, trying to get to that magical carrot stick that is always out there, and you're never going to be 100% happy forever and ever, which is a real mystery, perception, a bit of myth actually. But I see the stress and there's heartache, and I know I've been there myself, and it really hurts. It really hurts when I see that. I was on the train last night. I went and did I ran a speaking event last night in London, and on the train, just chalk and cheese on the train, I see the stress. I tried to get eye contact with someone, and then he started having the eye connection. And I must admit, I was just even a little bit uncomfortable myself, because it's, we're not used to connecting, looking at you. And I don't know if you've ever done the well-being exercise, but we're missing connection. We're missing, there's people depressed, there's people committing suicide. And I've been down that track, and my heart really hurts when I see that. And it's got this massive heart, I've got so much to give. And I'm with epsiode right now, because I'm trying to save the world. I've been trying to save the world, and I realised the importance of balance and well-being and collaboration, connection. Because for me to change a million lives, also reaching out to beautiful people like epsiode, and all these amazing people that I've met in London, and which I'm going to take back to Australia when I get there. That's why you got to step out of your comfort zone. That's why you got to play. You live once, play. You got to play the game and just go for it, guys. And don't let the inner voice get in the way. Don't let you got to play. You got to let yourself out there and face the fear. Feel the fear and do it anyway. So you can see how passionate I am. Back to you.
It's so interesting, because one of the things that you said was, we're kind of in survival mode. And I think that a lot of us, that's what it is. Like we want to get out of it. We want to transform. We want to have that success, but we are still fighting day to day with that survival mode. So what would be that one thing that you would tell someone, hey, you know what? This is one of the ways that you can get out of that survival mode and that mindset in order for you to start moving towards success?
Yeah, definitely. Well, first thing is, what do you want? Are you just in survival mode, or are you in what do you call it, Groundhog Day? Are you just going through the motions? You don't have to change anything if you're happy with what you've got, but most people aren't happy. And what are you playing for? What's your purpose? What's your mission? What's your vision? If you haven't got one, like most people, and you're not happy where you are, that's going to make a huge difference to this world. Do you want to, help kids in Africa? Do you want to, do a fun run? I've committed to I've taken on some big challenges lately, and it scares the hell out of me. But at least I'm playing the game. I've never done a half marathon before, and I committed to one 2 days ago, and it's like, what the hell are you doing? But I've been saying it forever that I want to do this one. It's the Great Ocean Road. I don't know if you guys know the Great Ocean Road. Beautiful spot in Victoria in Australia, and just a magical run. And you'll run along there, like I've been saying for years. So, play the game. Is it a fun run? Is it, actually, I'll give you a perfect example. Last night we had the Standout Speakers Academy, and I'm very proud that I actually ran the show last night. It was very successful. And we had one guy there that was so closed shop. Drops and someone doesn't want to really be there. And that's in the crowd. That's not even speaking. He's actually closed shop when I tried to get people to do exercises. And then I said, well, what's your affirmation, guys? And then you hear this little voice saying, I want to be wild. And I'm like, what's that? He goes, I want to be wild. And I said, what's that? I said, you want to be wild? And he goes, I am now wild. And I was like, wow. And anyway, we got him to get up and end up coming up and speaking, and literally transformed overnight. And I started calling him Mr. Wild. But because he went from, it's almost like he had it inside, but he was scared to let it out of the bag. And, why are we, be a kid again, gang, be a kid. We went trampolining the other day, a lot of us adults, and had to get in a child work. And it was part of the Speaking Academy that I've been involved with. And we had an absolute ball. Part of us like, no, you can't have fun. And it's like, let's be kids again. And after that, he was shut, all his organs were suffocating, and then he opened up and let himself out. I am now, and now he's joined the academy and he's going to be playing the game and he's going to hang in that environment. The thing I want to say is that find out what's your purpose. What is it you really want? Really what and why. Hang in that environment. So, Eldevise, that personal growth, whether you're listening to things, whether you and I, this brings in energy. This brings in, you want to be doing this stuff, guys. If it's not an interview, get amongst your Tony Robbins, get amongst, do some, collaborate, or be in a beautiful energy environment. And on the other hand, you want the people around, it's normally the 5 people where you're heading. So you want to create. If you feel like there's negative stuff going on in your world, you got to change it up. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Does that help?
That was on.
Can you hear me?
That was on point because it's again, we were talking about how this is a journey. There's no on and off switch. It's not automatic. So there's going to be some sacrifices that have to be made. There's going to have to be some times where you kind of push yourself past your own boundaries and past your own limits. But when you do, that's great. It's a great thing. It's a good thing. It doesn't feel good in the moment. And you got to be careful because one of the things you said is, is your environment. Sometimes the reason why you haven't been able to push past your boundaries is because your environment is keeping you in your boundaries. Your daily habits are keeping you in your boundaries. The people you're connected to and talking to are keeping you in your boundaries. Now, don't go and tell your grandmom that I told you that she's keeping you in your boundaries. I didn't say that. I didn't tell you to tell your auntie that. That's not what I said. But you have to understand, who am I having what conversations with? Conversations about money. There's certain people that have conversations about money that are really drab. There's certain people that have conversations about fitness that make you want to go and eat a whole cake. Who am I having the conversations with? And if I don't have the right people in my circle, then how am I going to go get it? How am I going to find those people?
And what you spoke about before, your voice, what you say, like that is powerful. People don't underestimate what you say. You've heard to be careful what you say, these things. And I'm going to mention a couple of things that the power of the voice, even it shocked the hell to me. Even though you know that, like people know the secret, people know the law of attraction, but sometimes you still got the self-doubt going on, like, but is it really? For me anyway, and for most people I speak to. But the power of voice, the power of thought and the power of voice, or power of language, is huge. It's like neuron transmitters in you're going right through your body, billions of them. So they're listening, the vibrations there, do your own research. But if you say you're going to get a cold this winter, what's going to most likely happen? If you say that $100,000, what's most likely going to happen? If you say you can, you can. If you say you can't, you can't. But the law of vibration, that's powerful. So, yeah.
Most definitely. Now, I always ask every presenter that comes on, so in this journey, we all have some blunders. We have some things that don't go right. They kind of go left. Some things that we look back and think, oh my goodness, maybe I shouldn't have did that. And so I'm going to ask you the same question. What in this journey, in 20 years, what has been something that you look back now and you say, maybe that wasn't the best option?
Oh, wow. It's probably a lot of them. Let me think. I'll mention something that stands out. I usually go my intuition. What comes to me is that apart from back at home doing personal training, apart from my speaking, being awful and that, so I've still got my. For you guys just joined us now, is I've still got my personal training, and I'm doing some body pump, Pilates, cycle, all the group fitness stuff, which I do in a lot of gyms back at home, which I'm still doing today. Is I used to be shit scared of speaking, and there was once how freaked out I was body pump. Do you guys know Body Pump? Les Mills Body Pump? Okay. So here I am. It's a place called McLeod back in Victoria in Australia. And I've read The Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, which is my favorite book in the world. It speaks about saying yes. Say yes, feel the overwhelmed yes, and it's like a Robbie Williams who feels like he's going to throw up every time he goes on stage, but still follow through anyway. And what happened with me? Look at you laughing. I think it's funny. That's good. Love it. And what happened was, and this is showing our age, or my age anyway. So cassette tapes. Do you guys remember cassette tapes? You wouldn't. You're too young. Cassette tapes. So if you got your younger generation, we used to have cassette tapes. So it'd be funny to bring one out now, wouldn't it? But anyway, I had this cassette tape, and I wanted to get out of my comfort zone and run my first ever body pump, and I was so petrified. I was so shit scared, and I was like looking for every excuse under the sun. But I said yes, I'll do it. And then I went, come on, you can. It was fast forward, rewind, and it was taking forever. And then I felt like and I'm like, come on, you can do it. And then in the end, I thought, like an exam, do an exam. You're cramped, you have to go for it. Trust yourself. You'll be right. Come on, you'll be right. And then, so I had to go. I was sweating, internally sweating. Of course, they can't see on the outside, but I was just freaking out. And so I did this class, and the first one I was going, oh, yeah, you're right, you've nailed it. But I was relying on memory. I wasn't connecting with them. There's probably only 20 people there, but I was like petrified. Anyway, I started to get confident, started going to roll, and I thought, oh, yeah, no, I've got this now. And when you get cocky, you get excited, you think you got it down pat, and then bang. So what happened was, then I lost because I was relying on memory and not what I was doing. I was like, oh my words. I lost the choreography and relying on memory. And then I was like, and then I just making up. Because I'm playing the biceps with the squat track or the squats, and I got them mixed up, got them upside down, whatever I did. And then as I'm going halfway through, I noticed that, and it was like stage fright. And then I'm like, oh no, you stuffed up. But they're still waiting. And I'm like, oh yeah, keep going. But I thought I stuffed up, and then I thought, oh, maybe they didn't notice as much. But then when I went home, I got a phone call, the coordinator, the person that set me up, and I said, oh no, yeah, Shiver, I run a great class. And she said, never come back again. And I was like, oh. She said on the voicemail, don't ever come back here ever again. And I was just like, oh, shattered. My inner voice just went, you're a loser. You can't do it. Never again am I going to go. When you get burnt or you feel like, it's like going again. And then you think, a lot of people still do it. They put their guard up. I'm never going to go back in a relationship again. Then they do the Miss or Mr. Independent. And I'm never going to, and then 80 years old, they still have a relationship. I'm never going to do it again. I said, I'm never going to do it. I'll let it go for it. I let it go for a couple of years. My boy said, don't be a victim to it. Don't let it get you can do this, get back on track, and then go back over it and that. And then I still had so much concern and worry that I was going to stuff up again. I wasn't perfect, but I'll tell you what, I've moved mountains and in that 2 years and I come back through that one, and then I just raised the bar since then. And I've been a great speaker as well as, group fitness. And, if the difference was when I come back and I kept doing it more and more, I still stuff up today. But the difference is I ride the stuff up. So I just ride with it and I continue on and I have a laugh at myself. I used to beat myself up. Now you just laugh at yourself. I was speaking to other guys before and I didn't, even though I've done a lot of speaking, a lot of personal control, I feel like I could jump on with Tony Robbins today. But I'm feeling like I've got everything down pat. And then, as I said to you, that I did only a 5-minute talk and I didn't listen properly. I didn't do it the way it was meant to go. Even though people said that was fantastic, in my head I was like, you didn't really do it the way it was meant to. And I beat myself up. And even though I've come this far, like you and I have and everyone has, I don't care whether you're Tony Robbins or myself or the Prime Minister, everyone goes through their shit and everyone goes through their stuff up stage and go through their struggles and you got to be able to pick yourself up and have a laugh at yourself and just go, whatever. And then get back on the horse again, like a kid falling down and get back up time and time again. Just before we say any more, last night I wrote on the board, you don't have to be perfect. And I put PEERFECT. And they start saying, I say, what's wrong with that? And they go, does it matter? I don't have to get big. You guys know what I'm talking about, you know? So we give ourselves a hard time. You got to be able to, you know, have a laugh at yourself, relax, be the inner child again, and, you know, just ride the waves and take the pressure off yourself. We put so much internal pressure on ourselves, stress going on. Relax, love yourself, breathe. It's okay. We can still make mistakes. Facebook can be a challenge, or social media can be a challenge at times, because most people tell how great they are, you know, myself included. But you know what? Now and then I'll get up and say, you know what, to be honest, like now, talk about, you know, it feels funny talking about it because my ego doesn't want you to hear this. But the facts are, I want to share this with you because I want some of you guys to step up, knowing that you don't have to have it 100% perfect to start. You don't have to start to be perfect, but you have to be perfect. What is it? You don't have to be perfect to see. No, I didn't get it perfect then. You don't have to be perfect to start, but you have to start to be perfect, or start to be at least perfect if you think there's no perfection. Yeah.
You know, that definitely speaks volumes, because there are so many people that think that after I've been doing this for a certain amount of years, then I shouldn't have that same fear. I shouldn't have those same mistakes. I shouldn't have those same, you know, kind of blunders. And the reality is that each and every level, there's still going to be moments where you're still learning something. You're still doing something that you may not have done before. And even with you doing the 5 minutes, it was a learning lesson. Not everybody, and a good number of people cannot do short speeches, because that's not what's being taught. And so that wasn't, you know, it's okay. Now, you know, now that's something that you can learn and grow from and have in your repertoire, that now you can come back and you can do a 5-minute speech somewhere. Somebody may just call you up and want you to introduce yourself, and you're going to introduce yourself so well that people are going to be like, oh, I need to connect with him. I need to talk to him. And other people, you know, kind of stumble through. We even think about the elevator pitch. People stumble through trying to do an elevator pitch. Like, they stumble through it horribly. They forget their name and everything.
And I just want to mention that, and I love how you're a listener. Take note, guys. We've got 2 ears, 1 mouth, and you, Aldavisa, you're the best listener I've come across in a long, long time. And to be able to just let me go, I'm thinking, when's she going to interrupt me? Because most people interrupt. And yeah, I really appreciate that. One thing I wanted to say is that I don't mind taking one for the team. So I'm actually happy to feel like I've because even though I didn't seem like I did, because people still said it was great, I was thinking that, but I don't mind sharing that, and I don't mind being vulnerable and authentic about that, because if I do that, then other people that put you and I on a pedestal can actually go, you know, like, wow, if they do that, and they really, does that happen to them? People think I've got perfect fit. I eat 100% perfect all the time. No, I'm the 80-20 rule. I still have fish and chips. I have macas. I drink alcohol. Still in control. I used to be an alcoholic, but in control. But at the end of the day, I can still have some fun. And you know what? You don't have to have it down pat all the time. And you know, that just shows that you guys can step up and you can play the speaking game. You can be doing this interview like what we're doing now. The only difference between us guys and you is that we've got out of our fear more, you know, overcome our fear more and taken extra steps, extra actions to get to this far. It doesn't mean anyone else can't. We're looking for players to step up and collaborate. And, you know, everyone's got their purpose and to change the world when you actually look at yourself inside.
You know, that was a great point. And I want to definitely hone in on that, because you said that, you know, one of the things that's important is collaboration. we think that in the beginning, I guess there's this mindset of being the solopreneur and I can do it all by myself and I don't need anyone and I don't need you to support me. But the reality is that you do need people that are going to support you. You do need people that are going to come and connect with you and network and collaborate. And we look at collaboration wrong. We look at networking wrong. We look at networking as going and handing out 500 business cards at a networking event. And people go home with the business card, they throw it out, they don't know who you are because they don't remember the face, or they have this. I'm gonna show you.
There we go. What's this? Guys, don't you love them?
They have a baggie of business cards. And those of you that are listening into this episode, like audio, you can't see it, but I have a bag full of business cards. And the majority of them will be people that I never reach out to. So people have gone and spent money on 5,000 business cards, handed out at least 3,000 of them, and have gotten one call back. And they say, well, it's worth it for that one call. No, it wasn't. Not when there were other ways that you could have networked and collaborated. And I know literally you and I, Darren, were able to network and connect with just this week. Within this week, it was an opportunity for us to network and collaborate and connect, a couple opportunities. So in the 20 years that you've been doing this, how has networking and collaboration really transformed for you?
Wow, massive. Okay. Yeah, well, I was like you were saying before, the solopreneur. I was one of those, as I said before, myself. And I've always been a good connector. Like I've always been social butterfly, quite smooth, to be honest, and been able to get numbers. Back then, it was the girls at the clubs, but now it's more. I'm just being honest here. The personal growth. I think not that he does that anymore, but he's still 72 and he still acts like he's smooth. Like but yeah, it's always been a good network. I've always been able to get numbers. I need someone to help me out with database, of course, but I've got, like you, I've got the bag full of cards in there, business cards. So what I do now is I don't worry about the business cards so much. I do more Facebook and interaction and social. So I haven't even got business cards on this trip, and I've connected with probably about 50 people. I'm doing Facebook, I've got 5,000 max, so now they're maxed out. So with the Facebook, but we'll work on that. Huge interaction here. And what was the question again? Can you remind me?
I'm sitting here and I'm like, yeah, I can see you going and get a lot of phone numbers in the clubs.
Well, you spoke about the challenges during I can't remember what you said. What was the thing? Networking. How's it changed? Well, the networking has been huge. Okay, so I see with people, a lot of people speak about, like, I see Facebook, or I haven't really got Instagram and that, but the social presence on, I see that as like you and I have connected, through that, because Fraser Ramsey, if you don't know him, and that was fantastic. And that's the power of the social media, because we connected on Facebook, and I've got to you. I've also got a fiance here in London. So I ended up coming to London through Facebook because I met a guy called Luke Scott. But what's happened there is that then you've got all these following, and we did Facebook Lives, and then you get these people that reach out to you and you never met them before, and you start changing their worlds. So has it changed? Then all my new best friends are through social media. It's funny. I have a birthday party and I've got all these people that how'd you meet? No, through Facebook. And like, I wish I was 6 months or something like that. And my partner here, and we're going to be getting married, and we're probably going to move to London. This is all through Facebook. All my traveling has been through connections. I can go to America, and then I end up with all these amazing connections. And it's all. And some people, as you connect with them. The other day, I met someone fantastic, and I said, "Oh, we've got to connect." He was a speaker, and Of course, we're friends. How many times do you do it and you're already friends and you're like, oh, wow, we're already connected. So this collaboration connection through social media has been huge. I actually, you know, some people complain about it because they're worried about, oh, something's happened to them on Facebook. I've had some funny stuff happen on Facebook. You know, you've got these funny female things that you've had to get away pictures and that. It's like, it's just part of the game. You just got to be able to put that aside, bag aside that you've had a bad experience on Facebook, because I see a lot of people go, oh, no, I'm not going there again. You know, put that aside, learn from it, and pick quality people with your social media. And it makes a huge difference, especially in the personal growth game, the speaker game. I just find it's ups, you know, my presence, my prestige, my perception has just gone out of this roof. You know, now I'm getting opportunities like with you, about possible TV. I've had radio through there. I've got most of my best friends are through Facebook-social media. You know, and my buddies are through that. My family, my mum and dad, I didn't get through Facebook, but you know, like in most of my closer family. But outside of that, because I've only got 5, 6 people, it's just been all social media. So, but I'm so enjoying the journey. You know, like to do this with you, and to talk, you know, and to do interviews with other people, the Breakthrough Mastery Show, like, and the way you can impact someone just through social media, like it's huge. What's your experience been? Yeah, back to you.
So I'm the introvert, and so as the introvert, networking event. I
really?
know, right? Look,
wow.
Darren's face is like, no, you're not. I am such the introvert. So networking events make me cringe.
Wow.
Business cards make me itch. And I really had to get to an understanding of, okay, that's not going to work for me. I have to find another way to do it. And so I found other ways. Social media has been huge in networking for me. In building the World Voice League and bringing together entrepreneurs and speakers and authors from all over that are looking to impact social change, I said, okay, I have to expand and grow, but being in a large crowd is not going to be the way to do it.
Wow.
Standing in a room of 300 people and don't really want to be there per se, or I don't really, you know, I'm not the loudest one in the room most days. If I'm at an event, I'm the one that I'll make some few small conversations, but I make them significant.
Wow.
I make them significant. And so I've seen success from that, because even my side business that I do in doing like promotional videos and things, I literally, all of that is through word of mouth. I don't promote it at all. I don't make any post about it or anything. It's all through word of mouth that people go and send people to me. And it's because that's just me. I had to learn what's going to work best for me. It's odd because people look at me and they're like, you're not an introvert. No, I really am. I'm the one that will go to an event and I'm in the back of the room and you may not notice that I'm there. You may, because you're sitting close by, or I may make a statement that may be heard like at the table or something. But usually you won't even know I'm in the room, but I'll make some significant conversations and they just like skyrocket to a whole nother level.
Wow. Quality, not quantity.
Yeah. Connecting with Fraser was online. He saw me going live on Periscope and we connected. And, you know, all of my clients, I even tell people, none of my clients live where I live. All of my clients are all over. I've had clients from the UK, clients from Canada. All my clients are all over. There's none that's like right here in my city or my town. And it's because I've learned how to master networking for me, for the introvert.
Fantastic. I thought you would have been the first on the dance floor at the workshop.
Oh, I do dance. Now that is where I come out of my little bubble.
Because you don't have to talk.
Exactly.
You're doing the expression
out of my
physical.
I'll be on the dance floor. But after the dance is done, I'm back in my bubble. I am most definitely back in my
bubble. Like a bubble on a spring.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
But it's given me the opportunity to connect with so many people. And when I make a connection with someone, it's a lasting connection. Like I go back and I reach out to previous clients to check in on them. It's a lasting connection. Like there is no we're one and done, or we have that conversation or that one opportunity where you come and be a part of something and then we're no longer connected. No, I make lasting connections. It's necessary.
Very loyal.
Exactly. Exactly.
Love it.
Exactly. It speaks volumes. I want to make it to the 20 years too. I'm at year number 5. Oh my goodness. I'm at year number 5.
Wow. You'll do it because you're so passionate about it. You're so passionate about it. You'll do it till you fall over, until you go.
Exactly.
All right. That's what I see. Yeah. And the technology is going to get greater and greater. So it's, I don't know how it's going to go, but
I'm almost kind of interested in virtual reality, and because they were talking about at one time Facebook possibly doing like virtual reality rooms. I said I'm kind of sort of interested in it, but there's always some piece of technology that kind of just creeps you out. That just kind of creeps you out, just you don't know which way it's going to go.
So could I talk? I don't know if you got a question for me.
Oh, you can go ahead.
I'll wait for you, boss. Okay. Oh, okay. Good. So I want to talk about, because I want really people to know that, like, you've got your story, I've got my story, and every successful person has got a story. Everyone's got a story. Now, the thing is, if you've got a story that actually help people out, my invitation is to actually get it out of the system. Now, the reason I'm going to talk about my story is to help people out there that feel like they've got nothing really that's purposeful, or to get it out and to share. So I'm going to share this because show that you can overcome anything pretty much, and that you can use your story to help out other people that are going through stuff right now currently that you've been through and you've mastered, and then you can support them and you can get paid for it. So here we go. So we've all got a lot of stories, but mainly I spoke about drinking before. Now I had quite a challenge with drinking. We spoke about picking up numbers in clubs and that sort of stuff, which you had a good laugh about. But it's funny because I felt, well, it wasn't funny at the time, but I've always felt, well, back then I felt not loved. We have our stuff from childhood. We've all go through, felt not loved, not loved and alone. And I felt like I would never get married, have a girlfriend. Funny thing, I was married. I felt like I'm not good. I wasn't good enough, not good looking enough, not getting able to have a girlfriend because I got picked on, bullied on when I was young, and I felt like, I was a nothing. I was a no one. I was a nothing. And yeah, so I went through that journey. And so when I discovered going out and drinking, and it was sort of like a bit of a mask. Then it was dance floor, then it was women, then it was all this sort of stuff. So it became like, it sort of came together, integration. So someone up and asked me to dance, I'd say, oh no, I have to have a few drinks first. I said, I'll have a few drinks and then we can have a dance, that sort of thing. So I had that, everything was related to, did you say Dutch courage over there? Dutch courage, yeah, like I've got a few drinks so I can feel brave to hit the dance floor, or brave to speak to someone, and I got in that every time, and I held like I had a drink, even like, just overwhelmed with speaking to people in public and stuff. A lot of people get anxiety and anxious around, social interaction. I did have that. So, so even though people thought I had it all, I was a legend, party animal and that sort of stuff, that was drink driven. That drink, I felt like I lost my power. So I felt powerless without the drink, and I felt like I needed the drink to be that legend. And it's pretty sad when you think of it, because when I wasn't drinking and when I was by myself, there was the depression, there was the there's lots like, because I couldn't keep up on that high, and I wanted to have that high. So then I had to go back to drinking, and almost like I was like hiding behind the scenes. I wouldn't socialize with people unless it was drink related. And I see it time and time again with creek clubs, all these sporting clubs, and, even some family, that sort of stuff. I just find it's a huge environment. Yeah. And I see people really struggle with that, especially with their some stuff, and avoiding going out social events. I see quite a lot, and anyway, so I was through that, and I got to a stage where I was on the antidepressants and painkillers because I went through a stage where I had the fibromyalgia going, chronic back pain, all that sort of stuff, and I found that really it was just everything together. So with the and then the suicidal thoughts of there's no purpose. I've got no purpose in life because when I wasn't drinking, it was such depression. And then what happened was I come across hypnotherapy, and the hypnotherapy was like, I didn't believe it. They actually said, "Oh, we can't hypnotize you with those cassette tapes. We can't hypnotize you." So what I did was I didn't believe it. It didn't work there. They said, "Well, take it home with you and see if it works when you're not there. See if it works when you're not there." And I'll give it a go because I felt like nothing to lose. So I actually gave that a shot, and it didn't work for a couple of times. And sorry, on that. Sorry, just got a quick interruption. Hang on 2 seconds.
Not a problem at all.
Yeah, so that's right. You got me back, yeah? And so I was going through this, I wanted to commit suicide, and I had this conversation with myself, was how many tablets can I take to disappear? So I had this one night, it was like, how many tablets can I take to disappear? And then the other time it was like, well, what if you don't take enough? Where are you going to end up being? So there was no Google back then. This is 25 years ago. So no Google back then. And glad there wasn't, because if I had found the answer, I would have been like, okay, that's it, done. So, but at the same time, I was doing this hypnotherapy each night. And actually, one night I just went, actually, it's not too bad. It's quite relaxing. And I remember him saying about the engine room. Now, what this engine room was, it was said, they got me to relax as they spoke about the cassette tape. And then they got to a start, and then I got to a stage where it said, okay, so we're going to go into the engine room now. And it's like you're on a plane. And in this engine room, you've got, in the control room where you're the pilot, and you're in control of what buttons you move. You're in control of what levers you do up and down. So you're in control here. And what I was doing was splitting the subconscious and the conscious. And what they said, in this engine room, you can do whatever you want. And they said, okay, so you can do levers up, you can do levers down, you can relax more if you want to relax more. And it got to a stage where I actually heard myself snoring and laughing at myself. So it was a split conscious and subconscious, like actually, how to explain it? So I was gone. So, well, I would tell you, but I could hear myself snoring, and it works. I laughed at myself snoring. So it was two separate minds, the conscious and subconscious. So I was like, here I am, going, I'm going to hear snore. That is. And maybe there's something more to this. There's something more to this. So I want to say that eventually I got into meditation. I saw Deepak Chopra on the Oprah Winfrey show, and I realized that there was the 7 spiritual laws of success. I don't know if you heard of it, Deepak Chopra. If you have, great. If you haven't, I would suggest go and get it, because I went straight to the bookstore 10 minutes after seeing him on Oprah Winfrey and thinking, well, maybe there is another way. And then I discovered he had books on meditation, and then I got those and I brought them back, and I just got right into it. And then I come across a thing called TM meditation, and that helped me realize that I had deep-rooted stresses going on, deep stuff that I didn't see consciously. It was all buried deep. So that would cause, when I meditate, to physical reactions in the body. It was really weird. It was like there was aliens coming out. It was just trippy, yeah. And so I had this experience of this physical release. And they explain that the deep rooted stuff is going to want to come out first. And I don't know exactly how it works, like electricity, if we flick the switch, but you could feel the release coming out. And I had this battle like I didn't want it to come out because, a lot of people are going through pain or they're with disease and they don't actually want to come out. They're carrying the loving factor towards them. They still prefer to be in hospital or still and get out. A lot of prisoners actually too scared to come out of prison because you get used to the norm. So whether it's the prison, whether it's the whatever you're used to for a long time, it's hard to break that. Your neuron pathways are so used to one different. It's going to feel abnormal, even though it sounds weird. Yeah. So anyway, how's it sound?
That's definitely the truth. A lot of times it's almost as if, you get complacent. You get comfortable in that place of, feeling like this is the only thing that I deserve. This is the only thing that I can achieve. And there has to be, you have to find something that's going to bring you out of that. Because if not, you end up staying right where you are, or you'll end up doing something, getting a little bit of success and going right back to where you originally were, because that's where you feel as though you're most comfortable. That's where you think you deserve to be. So I can definitely understand that. And, going through that process, each person is going to go through it differently, but we have to understand that there is going to be a process we have to go through. There is going to have to be a process of, I can't say that I'm going to be the best speaker ever if I'm not willing to deal with my own demons. If I'm not willing to go and be transparent about the scars that I have, because it's those scars that's teaching someone else how to be healed. And, that process that we go through, it's not an easy process. It's not a pretty one all the time. People will look at us and think that we've lost our minds completely. But the reality is no, this is the process that you're going to have to go through. And, I'm showing you that it's okay to go through it and that you'll make it through it. You'll make it to the other side.
Yeah. And with all these guys out there, everyone's got a story. Everyone's got a hard luck story from childhood. Everyone's got from my experience anyway. And, everyone feels not loved, not worthy, not good enough, not enough, that sort of stuff. And you can still be successful. You can still go further ahead, and you're just going to be able to manage the emotional intelligence, manage your inner voice, and, have a goal strong enough, even through the rough ride, the hurdles up and down, that you can still make it there and enjoying the journey along the way. And when you get to certain areas, pat yourself on the back and saying, well done you. Like my speaking the other night, I didn't feel like I was up. Just you don't let it stop you. You go again. And then I had an amazing night last night with a beautiful team and beautiful people, and we've transformed lives. If I had got in my worries and my doubt and thought I'm not good enough and I didn't do that, those two people last night wouldn't have had the transformation that they had. So we've got to be able to keep riding those waves, because in the end, it's, if you most people want to do something, change the world or you do something for others. And if you get caught up in your own voice upstairs and you let that control you, you're going to sit in your box. You're going to sit in you might as well not be here. It's like this Groundhog Day, people just go and work, shit, sleep, and over again, Groundhog Day. There's more to life than that. For you and I stepping out of our comfort zone just makes, like I feel like amazing right now. And I know when we finish this call, it's just going to continue on for the rest of the night, and it'll impact in my world. Let's just continue on, and anyone I meet, the energy is high.
That's it. You'll make that impact. It'll go further than what you've ever imagined. When you decide that, hey, I'm going to go through this, I'm going to be 100% in. I'm, even in the rough moments, I'm still going to keep going. That part is so very important. This conversation has been phenomenal. Why? Because, again, you guys know that I love bringing you the stories behind the story. I love bringing you the things that people have really gone through, we oftentimes see, you know, the people that have made it to a level of success that they're making $20,000 and $30,000 every time they speak. But there's been some behind the scenes things that they really had to endure in order to get to that stage. That stage wasn't open to them overnight. That opportunity wasn't open to them overnight. And you have to understand that whatever your journey is going to be, that's part of it. You got to document. You got to make sure you're paying attention to your wins and your losses. And you are going to have some losses, and it's okay. It's all right. We can bounce back from loss. Mm-hmm. We got to just keep going. And 100%. So I appreciate you coming on today and, you know, connecting with the audience and really sharing your story, because again, there are so many people that are so scared to peel back the curtain and show people I'm real. This is a real person here. I still get up in the morning and eat breakfast, drink tea. You know, I still have to work out, because if I don't, then all of the brownies are going to catch up with me. I'm a real person.
Yeah.
I'm a real person. So I want you to let them know how they can get in contact with you and where to find you on social media.
Okay, yeah, so great. So I'm still working on my social media, but definitely Darren King on Facebook. I need to delete some people because there's a 5,000 max cutoff. But reach out to me. If you don't get me there, at least go to Messenger, or I am on Instagram as well. If you struggle with phrase the other day, I just put my number there just in case if you really, really need to talk to me. It's a +61 for Australia. Even though I'm in London, it will still reach here. +61 0402 443 805. And also an email, if you really want an email, is Darren _ the low little dash, King of Fitness, one word, @hotmail.com. Perfect. And that's about it for now. I'm still working on, to be honest, I'm really good with my speaking one-on-ones, groups, passionate heart. Anyone out there that wants to help me with social media, or not so much social media, or any of the social media, or any sort of Instagram and whatever, reach out, because we're not perfect and we need people around me before collaborating. And you don't have to do it all. There's the E-Myth book. You know about the E-Myth book? Yeah, about the 4 personalities. And, you know, you don't give yourself such a hard time. Get people around you. Have a virtual assistant. Collaborate. I've got strengths and weaknesses, and you've got strengths and weaknesses, and someone else. And just, you know, I'm a creator. I'm an out there person, but I'm a Richard Branson. But we need people around us, and to create those companies or the teams and going forward. Yeah, just reach out to us, guys, if you really.
Definitely. I appreciate it. Guys, you know, I love bringing these episodes to you guys live or via the replay, simply because I need you to understand that success is very much possible. But there's going to be some bumps and bruises in the road. There's going to be some rocks that you're going to have to either climb over, go around, or move it out your way. And in order for you to be able to achieve that success. But with that being said, I am your host, Alcides Pelzer, the voice coach, professional speaker, certified life coach, Amazon bestselling author and podcaster, and founder of the World Voice League, bringing you speakers, authors, and entrepreneurs from all around the world. Guys, I am looking forward to our next episode. I hope you are too. Make sure that if you are a speaker and author, I would love for you to be a guest on the podcast. Go to bit.ly/speakeasy podcast, all lowercase. And if you would leave us a review over on iTunes, we would definitely appreciate it. Let us know if this episode resonated with you. bit.ly/speakeasy podcast show. And until next time, guys, don't forget to press it out. See ya.